My name is Cindy Burleson, and I'm chairman of the International Sibling Society, where I have the privilege here today to welcome you to SDGs Explained, the podcast where we explore the 17 Global Sustainable Development Goals and how people in over 190 countries are working together to make life better on the planet, for all life, both above and below the water. The 17 Sustainable Development Goals are a universal call to action to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure peace and prosperity for all, addressing key challenges such as poverty, hunger, health, education, gender equality, clean water and education, affordable and clean energy, decent work, economic growth, industry innovation and infrastructure, reduced inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, climate action, life below water, life on land, peace and justice, and strong institutions. In this series, you will learn a lot more about the Global Sustainable Development Goals. But if you're curious and you want to know more now, click on the SDGs Explained trailer and bonus features found in the same place where you found our podcast here today. You can also find the International Sibling Society and the SDGs Explained series on YouTube. We urge you to take the time to look us up on YouTube and subscribe to our channel. Indeed, we need your support to get our message out through the algorithms so everyone, everywhere around the planet can hear it and share with us all how they are working to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals in their part of the world. It only takes one click. Hit the subscribe button and let's get YouTube on our side. Speaking of YouTube, if you visited our website, issnow.org, you'll see that the International Sibling Society is in the middle of a huge YouTube subscriber drive. Today, we invite you to become an integral part of our movement by subscribing to our channel and embracing the power of shared experiences. We encourage you to navigate to us and be a part of our global family. Visit issnow.earth, where you can tell us who you are and what you're doing in your part of the world to move us closer to sustainable development goals. Be a guest on our show. We're here to support you. Speaking of support, the International Sibling Society wants to be the first to encourage you to assume your own role in the world of diplomacy. We encourage you to pursue a career in foreign service in your home country. Research the requirements. You'll soon be on your way to an exciting, rewarding career where you can truly make a difference for all of us living on the planet. Most countries require some form of testing to enter foreign service. In my country, the United States, all aspiring foreign service officers are required to take a written foreign service officer test. After taking the written foreign service officer test, the next step for Americans is the qualification evaluation panel. And this phase, the review panel looks at the total candidate to rank order all the candidates in a given career track. And the number of candidates invited to the next step or the oral interview depends largely on the U.S. State Department's anticipating hiring needs and budget. Well, what's the process in your country? Whatever the requirements are in your country to help you prepare for the road ahead, the International Sibling Society has prepared a comprehensive study guide to help you ace the essay portion of any exam you're required to take. The name of the study guide is simple. It's Launch Your Foreign Service Career and Ace the Foreign Service Officer Test. You can find Launch Your Foreign Service Career and Ace the Foreign Service Officer Test anywhere you buy books. But we understand books are much heavier to carry than they used to be, and that you likely prefer a lighter, more portable digital or audio version. Well, look no further. Audiobooks and ebooks are available too. Just search for them by name on your favorite platform. The International Sibling Society's Global Test Prep Series, Launch Your Foreign Service Career and Ace the Foreign Service Officer Test. In this guide, you'll find 20 sample essays covering a wide range of topics that can be included in any Foreign Service Officer test, regardless of the country or the testing format. From these essays, you will learn how to effectively structure and develop your responses to impress evaluators. Whether you're facing a written or oral exam, our study guide will equip you with the necessary skills to tackle any essay prompt with confidence. You will learn how to analyze the question, generate compelling arguments, and communicate your ideas with clarity and precision. At the International Sibling Society, we understand the importance of acing the Foreign Service Officer test. Aspiring foreign service officers need to demonstrate their ability to think critically, analyze complex issues, and communicate effectively. Our study guide is designed to help you master these skills, ensuring that you stand out from the competition. Don't leave your success to the Foreign Service Officer test to chance. With our study guide, you can confidently approach any essay prompt that comes your way. Get ready to showcase your knowledge, skills, and passion for diplomacy with our comprehensive collection of sample essays. Start your journey towards becoming a Foreign Service officer today. Order your copy of our study guide and unlock your full potential on the Foreign Service Officer test. Your dream career is within reach. Let us help you make it a reality. So I ask you, are you ready to take your Foreign Service Officer test? Well, are you ready to take your Foreign Service Officer test preparation to the next level? Well, then let's get started. In today's podcast, we're going to compare and contrast the strategies for countering terrorism and promoting global security. Let's first compare and contrast the strategies for countering terrorism and promoting global security through the lens of the Sustainable Development Goals, beginning with Sustainable Development Goal number 16. Sustainable Development Goal number 16, Peace, Justice, and Strong Institutions, focuses on promoting peaceful and inclusive societies for sustainable development, providing access to justice for all, and building effective, accountable institutions at all levels. Within this goal, there are targets that aim to reduce violence, combat organized crime and terrorism, and ensure that institutions are transparent, inclusive, and accountable. Additionally, the efforts to counter terrorism and promote global security also indirectly support Sustainable Development Goal number 1, no poverty, and Sustainable Development Goal number 8, decent work and economic growth, as peace and security are fundamental to poverty eradication and sustainable economic development. Without peace and global security, many of the other Sustainable Development Goals, such as education and health, cannot be fully realized, making the fight against terrorism pivotal for the overall 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Well, knowing this, how could we respond on a written test or an oral exam, or better yet, in the real world of international diplomacy, if we were asked to compare and contrast strategies for countering terrorism and promoting global security? Well, that response could look or sound something like this. Title: Comparing and Contrasting Strategies for Countering Terrorism and Promoting Global Security. In the 21st century, the twin challenges of countering terrorism and promoting global security have become paramount in the international arena. While these two objectives share some common goals, they often require distinct strategies and approaches. This essay will compare and contrast the strategies for countering terrorism and promoting global security, highlighting their overlaps and differences. Well, let's first look at counterterrorism or countering terrorism. Countering terrorism is a multifaceted endeavor aiming at preventing, deterring, and responding to acts of terrorism carried out by non-state actors or extremist groups. Several key strategies are employed in this effort. Let's look at 4 of these strategies. The first strategy: intelligence and surveillance. Countering terrorism heavily relies on intelligence gathering and surveillance. Governments and international agencies gather information to identify potential threats and disrupt terrorist activities before they occur. The second strategy, military operations. In some cases, military force is employed to combat terrorist groups directly. This can involve airstrikes, ground operations, and special forces missions to eliminate or weaken terrorist organizations. Third strategy, law enforcement and legal measures. Effective law enforcement and legal framework are crucial for countering terrorism. This includes arresting and prosecuting terrorists, disrupting their financial networks, and implementing measures to prevent radicalization. And a fourth strategy, international cooperation. Terrorism knows no borders, making international cooperation essential. Nations collaborate to share intelligence, coordinate efforts, and address transnational threats through organizations like Interpol and the United Nations. Well, let's turn now to promoting global security. Promoting global security encompasses a broader set of goals beyond just countering terrorism. It seeks to create a stable and peaceful international environment that reduces the likelihood of conflicts and threats. Key strategies for promoting global security include, number one, diplomacy and conflict resolution. Diplomacy is central to global security efforts. Negotiation and conflict resolution through diplomatic means helps prevent international disputes from escalating into conflicts. Number two, arms control and non-proliferation. Reducing the proliferation of weapons of mass destruction and implementing arms controls agreements are essential for global security. These measures aim to prevent conflicts and promote disarmament. Number three, humanitarian intervention. In cases of genocide, mass atrocities, or humanitarian crises, the international community may intervene to protect civilians and uphold human rights. This involves military, humanitarian, and diplomatic efforts. And number four, institutional frameworks. International organizations such as the United Nations and regional bodies play a vital role in global security. They provide platforms for dialogue, conflict resolution, and the coordination of peacekeeping missions. Well, moving now to comparing and contrasting strategies. Number one, common goals. Both strategies share common goals of reducing violence, protecting human rights, and promoting global security. Countering terrorism contributes to global security by preventing acts of terrorism that disrupt peace. Number two, focus and scope. Countering terrorism is often more narrowly focused on specific threats and the dismantling of terrorist groups. Promoting global security has a broader focus, encompassing prevention, conflict resolution, and disarmament. Number three, means of enforcement. Encountering terrorism may involve military force and law enforcement to neutralize threats. In contrast, promoting global security primarily relies on diplomatic and institutional means to resolve conflicts and deter aggression. Number four, international cooperation. Both strategies heavily depend on international cooperation, but countering terrorism often requires more immediate and coordinated responses due to the urgency of terrorist threats. And number five, legal framework. While both strategies involve legal measures, countering terrorism places a stronger emphasis on counterterrorism laws and prosecution, while promoting global security focuses on international laws governing conflict and disarmament. Well, wrapping it all up in conclusion, countering terrorism and promoting global security are interrelated but distinct strategies. While countering terrorism addresses immediate threats posed by non-state actors, promoting global security takes a broader, long-term approach to prevent conflicts, protect human rights, and maintain global stability. Achieving these objectives requires a mix of diplomatic, military, legal, and humanitarian efforts, all underpinned by strong international cooperation. Balancing the two strategies is essential for a more secure and peaceful world in the 21st century. Well, how would you evaluate this response if you were scoring this essay or interviewing a Foreign Service officer candidate speaking these words? Well, let us know in the comments section or visit us at our website at www.issnow.earth or email us directly at diplomaticoffice@issnow.earth. What could you add to our exploration of countering terrorism and promoting global security? Well, let's hear from you. Be a guest on our show. As we wrap up today's episode of SDGs Explained, I want to thank you, our listeners, for joining us on this journey through the complexities and inspirations of the Sustainable Development Goals. Your engagement and curiosity are what drive this conversation forward, making a better future possible for all life on our planet. Remember, the International Sibling Society is more than just a podcast. It's a movement where your voice, your actions, and your commitment to the Sustainable Development Goals can truly make a difference. Whether it's by subscribing to our YouTube channel, sharing your stories on our website, or considering a career in diplomacy, every step you take is a stride towards a more sustainable and peaceful and prosperous world. As your host, Cindy Burleson, Chairman of the International Sibling Society, I'm here to remind you that change starts with us. It starts with the choices we make, the conversations we have, and the actions we take. So let's continue to educate ourselves, inspire each other, and work collectively towards the goals that unite us. Before we conclude, I'd like to encourage you to explore our comprehensive study guide, launch your foreign service career, and ace the Foreign Service Officer test. This resource is not just a tool for exam preparation. It's a gateway to understanding the intricacies of global diplomacy and the significant role it plays in resolving contemporary international conflicts. So as you move forward in your day, think about how you can contribute to the Sustainable Development Goals in your own unique way. And when you're ready to take your commitment to the next level, remember, the International Sibling Society and the SDGs Explained podcast are here to guide, support, and empower you. Thank you once again for tuning in. Join us next time as we continue to explore, understand, and contribute to the Sustainable Development Goals. Together, let's shape a future that we can all be proud of. Until then, keep striving for a sustainable world, one goal at a time.